Financing. Save even more. Let us do the work with free furniture moving, free carpet removal, and free carpet installation. Only for a short time and only at Floors for Living. The flooring experts, so you don't have to be.
Floors for Living, the flooring experts.
When Josh and I were planning this new state-of-the-art dealership, we knew we had to raise expectations.
Our family has grown Bayway Auto Group from one dealership 23 years ago to 8, and we know what customers are looking for.
Now, new 2018 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Sport. Lease for only $299 per month. Or enjoy over 25% off MSRP on new 2018 Jeep Cherokees.
And you will always get the best price at Bayway. We will beat any deal on our new Jeep, or I'll give you $1,000.
Drive into the new Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during our spring sales event and raise your expectations.
When it comes down to where to buy your next Kubota, Lansdowne Moody is the best place to go. A top 3 Kubota dealer nationally, 6 Gulf Coast locations, and 82 years servicing Houston. Kubota's L2501 is the perfect tractor for the job site, farm, or ranch. Engineered and built by Kubota from loader to saddle. Grab a great deal today. 84 months at 0% APR financing, as low as $129 per month. Hands down, it's Lansdowne. Why deal with anyone else? LMTractor.com.
At Ron Carter GMC Buick in Alvin, we'll meet or beat any deal or give you $1,000. Come in now for over $14,000 off MSRP on 2018 GMC Sierra 1500 SLT. Find new roads at the original Ron Carter GMC Buick in Alvin and at roncarter.com.
If you are just waking up with us here at 6:30, we are busy with breaking news today. 2 big stories in motion right now. People, of course, starting to arrive at St. Martin's Episcopal Church ahead of that visitation for former First Lady Barbara Bush. But first, we want to check out Air 11 live over the wreckage left behind by a horrible crash on the North Freeway earlier this morning. This is some of that incredible video of the flames. Look at that spread across I-45 about 90 minutes ago. A big rig burst into flames and crashed into several vehicles, which also caught fire. I want to give you the 3 big things to know on this. Thankfully, no one was killed in this crash, but a man was hurt. It has now shut down all lanes of I-45 north of downtown. Our Michelle Choi is live on scene with the latest information for us. Michelle.
Lisa, I just got to start by saying that it's absolutely amazing. No one was majorly hurt out of this whole entire accident. Now, we just spoke with a sergeant who tells us this was an accident involving 7 vehicles, including that semi you just mentioned. In fact, firefighters are still on scene, as you can see, and that is the semi truck. It was carrying household trash. That's what's in there, very flammable stuff, which caused that massive fire. But how did it start? Well, listen to this. Basically, what happened was the semi driver was driving. There was an accident ahead of him because a truck, the tire blew out, which then caused a chain reaction. Several cars began slowing down, and the 4th one is the one that slammed into everybody, causing the chain reaction, as I mentioned. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a drunk driver then hits the car that started that chain reaction, and then that car then caused another car to crash. The semi driver behind all of this, watching this unfold in front of him, tries to slow down, but it's too late. He loses control of his semi truck. It flips after crashing into a barrier, and get this, the semi driver is then tossed halfway out of his window on the driver's side, and then the semi catches fire immediately. You're looking at that fire right now. It was absolutely massive. A police officer arrives and does a very heroic thing. He runs to that semi driver and manages to pull him out, is what we're told, pulling him to safety. Now, earlier we actually saw that semi driver who was in the middle of this HOV lane. He has now been taken to Memorial Hermann. He was conscious and alive, and he spoke and a little bit to his brother and another driver who was on the radio with him when this accident happened, who immediately came to the scene to help him out. He tells us that the driver's name is Raul. He is 40 years old, and he's been driving trucks for 20 years. He had just left work with that semi hauling household trash when this accident all happened. Fortunately, again, he is going to be okay. No major burns out of that fire. It's absolutely amazing. Guys, we're going to continue to stay out here and gather some more details. For now, Doug, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. Looking at the live look from Air 11, or at Houston TransStar here, earlier we saw Air 11. You could see some of those other vehicles that were involved crushed up near the truck, but it's a miracle those cars also did not catch on fire. So as you said, thank goodness no one was seriously burned in this. But you can see the good news is right now the flames are out. So hazmat crews are on the scene. This could last until the afternoon. We have not been given a time frame on how long this will last, but all southbound and northbound lanes of I-45 are blocked at West Road. I'm going to put this on a map just to give you an idea. Elsewhere, we have normal rush hour slowdowns at this point. East Tex Freeway, you're running just a little bit slower because people are starting to take the East Tex Freeway from Beltway 8. That's an alternate route for you, but you can see the live look from Houston TransStar. Here's the slowdown behind the crash on I-45 north southbound as you approach Beltway 8. It's a tap of the brakes, but then you can get on Beltway 8. Take that to 249 to West Montgomery. You could curve all the way around to 290, or you could take the East Tex Freeway and even the Hardy Toll Road if you want to spend a few dollars. That's a good route for you. I'm going to get rid of the Houston TransStar camera, and you can see just the delays in the area. Like I said, all main lanes blocked in both directions of I-45, not far from West Road. Cheetah, I know you were saying some of the clouds in the wind direction, though, were helping to push some of that smoke west of the freeway.
That's right. So if you're waking up west or southwest of 45 there at West Road, you may be waking up to some smoke lingering in the atmosphere because of two reasons. One, breezy winds out of the east-northeast. So again, that's carrying that wind west and southwest of where that fire happened. And then due to the cloud cover will trap some of that, add a little more pollution in the air. So if you do have any respiratory problems, you may notice that. Now, throughout the day today, if your plan is to head out to the public visitation, temperatures will be building in the low 70s, so it'll be cool. Even this morning, we're waking up in the 50s, about a 10% chance of maybe a spotty sprinkle, tracking a big cold front for late tomorrow evening. Details on that coming up next.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Russ Lewis out at St. Martin's Episcopal Church here in Houston as we say a final goodbye today to former First Lady Barbara Bush. This beautiful parish here they attended for more than 50 years here on Woodway in Houston. We expect maybe 20,000 folks to show up today to walk past her casket in that church building that was built here about 15 years ago. It's part of 2 days of goodbyes here. You can pay your respects again starting at noon today, and folks will arrive here walking past her casket. Remember, you have to park at Second Baptist Church on Woodway, which is about 2 miles from here, and that's where you'll go through security and then board a shuttle bus to get over here to this church. You cannot walk or drive up to St. Martin's. There will be a private funeral service for 1,500 invited guests here tomorrow. That includes the Clintons, the Obamas, and First Lady Melania Trump. She will be here. We will carry that live on KHOU and also on our website at KHOU.com. We'll be streaming it there. Before anybody arrives here at St. Martin's today, we mentioned you have to go over to Second Baptist on Woodway to go through security there. Brandy Smith has been there all morning waiting for folks to arrive at that location. Brandy?
And Russ, it will still be a few hours before they can do so, but this is kind of the staging area for the visitation. As you mentioned, you cannot go directly to St. Martin's Episcopal Church. You have to come here and park at Second Baptist. There are a lot of questions and a lot of information you probably need if you're coming down. So the first thing is times. The lot opens at 10, shuttles start running at 11:30, and that visitation goes from noon until midnight tonight. Now, another question a lot of folks have is what can you bring? Think stadium security. You're going to want clear bags, and if you can, keep it just to your phone and your wallet. Now, even though she's lying in repose at St. Martin's, you're going to park here at Second Baptist. Woodway will be closed, so you're going to want to come in off of Voss. There will be traffic, so be warned. There are several different lots around the church, but those will fill up quickly. And Houston police say they know it's going to be hectic because so many people want to pay their respects to a woman. Police Chief Art Acevedo called about the closest thing we have to Texas royalty.
We urge you to please, let's all be on our best behavior. Let's all be patient. If you don't have to be in the area, you should avoid the area if at all possible, because the area is already congested to start with.
Some very good advice from the chief there. Just be patient. We are celebrating a woman who exhibited a lot of love and warmth. Let's try to share that with others today, kind of passing that legacy along. Also, if you want to beat the congestion, beat the traffic, you might want to try a ride-sharing app like Lyft, like Uber, but a warning, they could come with some surge pricing because of the crowds that are expected here today, Russ.
And Brandy, thank you. An important note for folks too, once you arrive here to St. Martin's, when you get off that shuttle bus, you will have to walk just a bit from Woodway to the church. You will be filed in there through a side entrance, walk past the casket. Once you come out the other end of the church, you walk back to Woodway to get on a shuttle to go back to Second Baptist. So there will be maybe a half mile of walking. Keep that in mind if you are coming out here today. We will have continuing coverage of everything that happens out here at St. Martin's both today and tomorrow. The funeral, the visitation, we'll have that for you throughout the morning and throughout the day. We also have a link to how you can leave condolences and all the funeral information you need on our website this morning at KHOU.com. We'll stay out here, Lisa, but right now we'll send it back to you in the studio for the rest of the day's news.
All right, Russ, thank you so much. 6:39 the time right now, topping today's morning rush. A grandmother at the center of a nationwide manhunt has been captured in Texas. Police say Lois Reese killed her husband in their home in Minnesota, then killed a woman in Florida to steal her identity. U.S. Marshals finally arrested her in South Padre. Teachers in Arizona have voted in favor of the first ever statewide walkout. It's meant to pressure the state to increase funding for teacher pay. Teachers will walk out April 26, which is next Thursday. Arizona, by the way, ranks as the worst in the nation for teacher salary. Wells Fargo could soon be fined up to $1 billion for its auto insurance and mortgage lending abuse. It is part of a deal with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and would be the toughest penalty the Trump administration has ever imposed on a major bank. And finally here, say goodbye to late fees. TxDOT says it's waiving old fines for drivers on the Grand Parkway. They'll still have to pay the actual toll bill, but moving forward, all future late fees will be capped at just $4 a month. And that is your morning rush for this Friday. Right now, we want to get back on up to Air 11 and our breaking news, an incredible view of that semi that burned on the North Freeway. It sounds like they're making progress on opening up some lanes. Let's toss on it over to Doug Deloney for the latest. Doug?
Thanks, Lisa. Looking live from Air 11, you can see the fire is out. Now the hazmat crews move in to try and clean some of this up. The southbound side of I-45